Narayana namaskritya Narayachaiva narotaman Devam sarasatim vyasam Tato jaya mudiraye Nasta prayesva bhadreshu Nityam bhagavata sevaya Bhagavati uttama sloke Bhakti bhavati nastike Vede ramane chaiva purane bharate tata hado adyam chamade cha hari savata giyate Mukam karoti vachalam pangu langarche guri Yakipataham vande Sri Guru Dinatarine Paramananda Madhava Dhamma prajita katabota paramoni bastram satan Vedam vastavam atavasu shivadan tapatayo mulanan Shima Bhagavate Mahamuni Krinte Kivai Para Ishwara Sadyorudi Avarudate Trakit Vita Kishanan Nigama Kapatalu Galitam Phalam Sukamukan Rasanvitan Pibatam Bhagavatam Rasamalaya Mahurau Rasika Bhovi Bhavaka Yashava Shamanayan Krishna Parama Purusha Bhakti Uttapade Punsa Sukamoha Bhaya Bhaya Krishna ya Vasudeva ya Deva Kinandana Yacha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah Vasudeva Sutandevam Kansa Chanuramadana Devaki Paramananda Krishna Bhante Jagaguru Namamo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pistaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nivise Sasunya Bhadi Pashtascha Disatarine Gurave Gurachandaya Radhikata Dalaye Krishna ya Krishna Bhaktayata Bhaktayo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So this morning we are having Srimad Bhagavatam class. And I thank everyone for being here this morning. And I welcome those who are also watching on the TV, Facebook. So hopefully we can relish some Bhagavat Katha this morning. We are on the topic of, this is 10th Canto, chapter 74. We're going to begin from text number 6. The deliverance of Shishupal. So Shishupal belongs to the originally is the lost devotee, the lost chokidar, bodyguard in the spiritual world in Vaikuntha Dham. So because Lord Narayan desired to perform some pastimes of fighting. The Lord wants to fight. The Lords have desire just like we have desires as living entities. And the Lord also have desires. The whole material creation is all going according to His desire. According to His supreme will, the whole creation is going on. Creation, maintenance, and destruction. It's all going on according to His supreme will. So sometimes the Lord have desire to fight sometimes. He want to fight. This is His will. Now, in the spiritual world, when this desire is there, that He want to fight, but who want to fight with Him in the spiritual world? No, nobody. The Lord is the supreme worshipable person, supreme worshipable deity. So nobody wants to fight with Him. He's being worshipped. It's only, of course, in Goloka Vrindavan, sometime Krishna is there, whereby he performed many, many wonderful rasa with his various devotees, especially with the cowherds, the Gopa. The Lord sometimes he engaged in some kind of a wrestling with his devotees. He engaged in wrestling whereby they fought one another and all that. But in Vaikuntha Dham, this is not the case. So these two devotees, Jai and Vijay, they knew that the Lord have these desires, so they want to fulfill this desire of the Lord. So they actually pray to Lord Narayana that, dear Lord, allow us to fulfill this desire of yours. Allow us. So, and then, in order to fulfill his desire and also the desire of his devotees, so a drama was created. So a drama was created whereby one time Lakshmi Devi, she was returning back to the palace, to the abode of Lord Narayan. She was returning, and then somehow the Jan Vijay, they tried to check her. Because Lakshmi Devi, normally people, they worship her, they pray to her. So sometimes she will come to this material world just to fulfill the desire of her devotees. And this particular circumstance, she was coming back, and then Jan Vijay, they tried to check her movement. So she became kind of angry with them. And then she went back inside. And then these Kumaras, who were actually impersonalists, they were Brahmavadis, self-realized sages. So they wanted to, they were coming because they were perfected stage who can go to the spiritual world and also the material world. So one time they wanted to enter the palace of the Lord Narayana. But they were not devotees, they were not bhakta, they were simply Brahmavadis. They were not like fully, Normally, in the spiritual world, there are three things. There's Bhagavan, there's Bhakta, and then there's Bhakti. Three things in the spiritual world. Bhagavan, Bhakta, and Bhakti. That's all in the spiritual world. Bhagavan is there, the Supreme Lord. The Bhakta is there, and then there's a Bhakti, which is a transaction between the Lord and his devotees. But the Kumara, they were not yet devotees. So when they wanted to enter the spiritual world, to the palace of the Lord, so they were forbidden to enter. They were forbidden. But Janvida told them that, who are you guys? Who do you think you are? You cannot enter here. This place, only devotees can come inside. So it so happened that the Kumaras, they became very, very angry. And then they said that, you here in the spiritual world, you dare to see duality. There's not supposed to be duality because everything is spiritual. So how can you see the difference? How can you make this duality? So the Kumara, they became angry, and then they curse. They give a curse to Jan Vijay. That, because you have seen the duality, so therefore you don't belong, you're not supposed to be here. So we curse you to go to the spirit, to go to the material world. We curse you to go to the material world. So as this transaction was going on, Lord Narayan appeared on the scene. And then, when Lord Narayan appeared on the scene, so Jan Vijay and not Jnana Vijaya, the Kumara, they smell the Tulsi, the aroma that of the Tulsi that is coming from the feet of the Lord enter their nose. And when this aroma entered their nose, by smelling this, they became devotee. So they became devotee, and then they realized that, oh, we have just caused the devotees of the Lord, this Jnana Vijaya, they realized that they are the Lord's devotees. What have we done? What have we done? You know, this is not good for us. And that they were thinking that, oh, we're going to get some kind of repercussion for this act of ours. So they became remorseful. And then Lord Narayan said, don't worry, this is my own arrangement. Myself, I have some activities to perform. So the Lord asked actually Jnana Vijaya, they could easily counteract the cause of the Kumaras. They could easily counteract it. After all, they are devotees. And being devotees, they surpass the position of the sages. But they did not. So the Lord told them, the Lord told Jnana Vijaya that you have to make a choice now. You can go to the material world as a devotee for 7 lifetimes, or you can go there as my enemy for 3 lifetimes. So either you go 7 lifetimes as my devotee, or you go there as 3 lifetimes as my devotees. So obviously, Jnana Vijaya, they don't want to be in the material world for so long. They say, oh no, we'd rather go as your enemy. After all, you desire to fight. So we want to become your enemy so that we can fight with you. So the Lord granted this. He said, okay, you go to the material world and then you become my enemy. So now, this brings us to the point that when the archon wants desire to be the Lord's enemy, no one wants to be the Lord's enemy. But in the material world, when the Lord comes, he performed many, many leelas. And when he performed his leelas, he chose who it goes with his associate. And with his associate, he decides which among those associates he wants to have a friendly dealing with, and which of those associates he wants to have some kind of, let's say, negative interaction with, but being fight with. So which means some of his associates, they are his devotees, they become like his devotees. And some of his associates, they become like demons. So so this is all part of the Lord's Leela. Some devotees, the Lord said, Yada 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 Masha, Glenn Bhabati Bharata, Abhitana Yada Masha, Taratmana Shijamaham, that the Lord, he comes, his devotees are here in the material world, the sages, and then they've been aroused by the demons. So the Lord has to come and fight with the demons. But those demons that the Lord fight with, these are not ordinary persons. They are not ordinary demons. They are the person that the Lord himself has chosen to be his counterpart, to be his demon, so that they can have this relation with him of fighting with him. So, which means when we think of the demons, we should not think of them as some ordinary persons. No, this is part of the Lord's Leela. So therefore, Jnana Vijaya came in the first lifetime. They were Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. It was such a big fight. When we read the 7th canto of Bhagavatam, you see the life of Hiranyakashipu and then Hiranyaksha. They became a big demon. The Lord to fight, a big fight. And then, by the Lord, just fighting, the Lord simply amusing himself. This is Leela, means something that is done without any, Leela is performed without any strenuous effort. Out of his own joy, is fighting with these devotees who have taken the role of demons out of his joy. And then the second lifetimes, they became Ravan and Kumbhakan. So it's then the Ramayana, it's, you can see such a big thing. And then their third lifetime is Shishupal and Dantabakra. So this is their third life. This is their third one, which is their Lord. And then in this lifetime, then there's going to be liberation, which means they finish their journey in the material world, and then the Lord will kill them, and then they will go back to their eternal position of being the Lord's guard in the spiritual world. Okay. So now, this chapter is dealing with the deliverance of Shishupal. So Shishupal, when he was born in Mathura district. He was actually a cousin of Krishna. So when Shishupal was born, he had 3 eyes. There were 3 eyes on his head. So having 3 eyes on his head, it was like it wasn't something that was desirable. So his mother, she became, what to do? This child of mine having 3 eyes, what to do? So she was taking the child around, and then she was taking the child to Brahmanas, what to be done so that this child can have normal eyes, like normal human being. But the child has got 3 eyes. So the Brahmana told him, well, the person that will cause this 3rd eye to disappear, that person will kill him. That person will kill him. The person that will, by whom his 3rd eye will disappear, that person is going to kill him. So as she was there, and at one time, when Lord Krishna was in Mathura, somehow the child, Shishupal, was brought before him. And when the child Shishupal was brought before him, the 3rd eye disappeared. So when the 3rd eye disappeared, then the mother said, oh, he is going to be the killer of my son. And then she went to pray to Krishna that, please, don't kill my child. Don't kill him, please. Don't kill my child. So Krishna said, okay, I will not kill him, but only if he insults me 100 times. If he insults me 100 times, then I will kill him. Otherwise, I'm not going to kill him. So therefore, Shishupal, he has this benediction from Krishna himself that until you insult me 100 times, I'm not going to kill you. So now we're having the sacrifice of Rajasuya, sacrifice of Yudhishthira Maharaj. So we're going to read some verses. There's a lot of verses because there's hardly any purport in this chapter. But as we're going, I'll be saying something on each verse. So text 6 is on the board. 6, okay. So we can all chant together. Shri Sukha Uvacha Ityukta Yajaye Kule Kale Babre Yukta Saritvijaha Krishna Namaditam Patho Brahmanam Brahmavadina Shri Sukha Uvacha Ityuktva Yajaye Kale Brabre Yukta Saritvijaha Krishna Namadita Prato Brahmanam Brahmavadina. You can chant? Somebody can chant. Somebody else? Ladies? Sukauvacha. Sukadev Goswami said, Iti thus uktva speaking yagniye appropriate for the sacrifice kale at the time babre choose yuktan suitable sa he rituja sacrificial priest, Krishna, by Lord Krishna, Anumodita, sanctioned, Partha, the son of Pritha, Yudhishthira, Brahmanam, Brahmanas, Brahma, of the Vedas, Bhadina, expert authorities. Translation and purport by the BBT. Sukadev Goswami said, having said this, King Yudhishthira waited until the proper time for the sacrifice was at hand. Then, with Lord Krishna's permission, he selected suitable priests, all expert authorities on the Vedas, to execute the sacrifice. It's a short purport. The great Bhagavatam commentator Sridhar Swami explains that the proper time for the sacrifice mentioned here was the spring. So with Krishna's permission, Yudhishthira Maharaj began his sacrifice. Of course, this sacrifice was after the establishment of the kingdom of Indraprastha. Because in order Lord Krishna to broadcast the glories of his devotee, Yudhishthira Maharaj, so Lord Krishna, he organized, basically, he inspired the performance of this sacrifice, whereby all the great personalities, they will come from all over the universe. But basically all over the universe, because Lord Shiva was there, Lord Brahma was there, many demigods were there. They will all come to attend this sacrifice. So it was not an ordinary sacrifice. It's meant to proclaim the glories of his devotees. Lord Krishna, he was called Bhakta Vatsala. Not only that, not only what his own glory, but he actually desired much more the glorification of his devotees. And that gave him much, much happiness. So we continue reading because there are no purport. Dwapayano Bharadwaja Sumanto Gatano Sita Vasista Shayavan Kambo Maitreya Kavasa Stritaha Biswamito Vama Deva Sumati Jamini Kratuhu Paila Parasaro Gago Vaisampayana Evacha Athava Kashapo Dhamyo Ramo Bhagavat Surhi Vichihoto Madhus Chanda Virase no Kitab Brahnaha. Translation. He selected Krishna Dwapayanam. Vyasadeva is Krishna Dwapayan. Bharadwaja, Sumantu, Gautama, and Asita, along with Vashishta, Shayavan, Kamba, Maitreya, Kavasha, and Trita. He also selected Vishwamitra, Vamadev, Sumati, Jaimini, Kratu, Paila, and Parasara, as well as Garga, Vaishampayana, Atava, Kashyapa, Domya, Rama of the Bhagavat. This means Parasuram. Asuri, Vitiotra, Madhuchanda, Virasena, and Akritabrana. Short purports. King Yudhishthira invited all these exalted brahmanas to act in different capacities as priests, advisors, and so on. So these like very, very ancient sages, very, very ancient personalities, who are like the controller of the universe, the directors, the great personality, great sages. Vasishta, Chaban, Kamba. But this personality, they are very, very old. They are millions, many of them are millions and millions of years old. But they were all invited to this great sacrifice of Yudhishthira Maharaj. Because in those days, the kings, they are very, very pious kings. They are very, very pious. And when they have to perform sacrifice, they can invite all these great personalities who are like millions and billions of years old. And this great personality, they will always be very, very happy to attend. Just like one time, one time the devotees, they've organized a program for Prabhupada. They organized a lecture program for Prabhupada. And this lecture program, when Prabhupada came, for some reason, there was no audience for some reason. There was no audience for some reason. So Prabhupada came, but still Prabhupada gave lecture, even though there was no audience. There were only a few devotees there. So another devotees, they went to Prabhupada to apologize. That's like, Prabhupada, we apologize that we organized this program, but nobody showed up. Nobody showed up. So Srila Prabhupada said, what do you mean nobody showed up? Didn't you say Narada Muni was here, Vasudev was here, and Prabhupada was naming different sages, demigods, who were all there. He said, didn't you see them? And of course, Prabhupada could see them, but devotees, they could not see them. Because wherever devotees are, all these great personalities, they are also there. So Yudhishthira Maharaj invited all these great personalities for his sacrifice. Why? All these great personalities, They are more than happy to be there. Why? Because Krishna himself is there. Because Krishna is the object of their worship. Wherever Krishna is, that's where all the other personalities will be there. So we go to text 10 to 11. Upavata chanye drona bhishma kipadaya ditarashraya sahasuto vidura cha mahamati brahmana satriya vachya sodayaga didikshabaha tatreyu sabarajano raga prakita bonipa. So translation. O king, others who were invited included Drona, Bhishma, Kripa, Dhritarashtra with his sons, the wise Vidura, and many other Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Sudras, all eager to witness the sacrifice. Indeed, all the kings came there with their entourage. So there's a short commentary here by Srila Jiva Goswami, whereby he said, sending Nakula to Hastinapur, as approved by Krishna, he invited other sages, such as Drona. Others invited were Balika and Somadatta. Vidura was a knower of all dharma concerning this world and the next. So, and then on the order of Yudhishthira, Sahadev said to the messengers, invite Brahmanas and Kshatriyas also. Bring respectable Vaishyas and Sudras. So it was a great personality. It was a great arrangement. And in this sacrificial performance arrangement, so many different roles were assigned to different personalities. Even the Kauravas, especially Duryodhana, who was always envious of the Pandavas, he was also invited. And he was also given a role to play. As a matter of fact, Duryodhana, he was given the role of being the treasurer. That was the role, which means he decided which money to be spent, just like we just had a big festival here, Jamasami festival. Lots of money were there. I'm sure the treasurer must be busy himself trying to ascertain what expenses go here, what expenses go there, and all that. So Duryodhana, he was the treasurer of this great sacrifice. That's so much how Yudhishthira Maharaj, he had no grudge or bad feeling towards anyone. As a matter of fact, Yudhishthira Maharaj, he was called Ajatasatru. Ajatasatru means someone whose enemy was never born. He never considered anyone as his enemy, Yudhishthira Maharaj. Even though the Kauravas, they may consider him their enemy, but he never considered them his enemy. And there are many stories out there in the Mahabharata to prove this point. So, even Lord Krishna himself, considering himself as a member, he also played a role. And guess what? Which role he was playing? He said, I'm going to be washing the feet of all the invited guests. I'll be washing their foot. This is the role that Lord Krishna was playing. You can just imagine. The Supreme Bhagavan. He said, I'm going to wash the feet of all the guests, of all the Brahmanas, sages. I'm going to be washing their feet. So we cannot even imagine that. Huh? So, and text 12. Tataste Devara Yajanam Brahmana Swana Langalai Krishna Tatra Yatanayam Dikshana Chakrire Nipan. The Brahmana priest then plowed the sacrificial ground with golden plowshares and initiated Yudhishthira for the sacrifice in accordance with the traditions set down by standard authorities. So the priest, they plowed the ground, and then they initiated Yudhishthira Maharaj for the commencement of this sacrifice. So and then text 13 to 15. Ayama kilo pakarana varuna shayatapura Indra dayo lokapala virinchi babasam yutaha sagana sida gandava vidyadhara mahoraga munayo yaksha rakshansi kaga kinaracharana rajanascha samahuta rajapantyascha savasaha rajasuyam samyusma raga pandu sutasya vai. Translation. The utensils used in the sacrifice were made of gold, just as in the ancient Rajasuya performed by Lord Brahma. Indra, Brahma, Shiva, and many other planetary rulers, the Siddhas and Gandharvas, with their entourage, the Vidyadharas, great serpents, sages, yakshas, Rakshasas, celestial birds, Kinnaras, Charanas, and earthly kings, all were invited. And indeed, they all came from every direction to the Rajasuya sacrifice of King Yudhishthira, the son of Pandu. They were not in the least astonished to see the opulence of the sacrifice, since it was quite appropriate for a devotee of Lord Krishna. Short purport. So Maharaj Yudhishthira was universally famous as a great devotee of Lord Krishna, and thus nothing was impossible for him. So this great sacrifice was mentioning that all the utensils were made of gold. All the utensils, the spoons, the plates, and everything were made up of gold. Actually, as mentioned in the Mahabharata, that before this sacrifice, Bhima himself, he went to the Himalayas, where so many golds were deposited. Because in those days, because there's so much opulence, so much richness, when the Vedic sacrifice were performed, the utensils are gold, made of gold, and this gold, and when they are finished using them, they'll be thrown away. They'll be thrown away. That's how so much opulence it was in those days. They'll be thrown out after the sacrifice is finished. They'll be thrown out. So much opulence was there in this sacrifice. Now, ordinarily, one would be amazed at what a great magnificence, what a great opulence that had been manifested. But the sages, they were not surprised that Yudhishthira Maharaj had manifested such an opulence on this sacrifice. Everything is made of gold, utensils, spoons, everything. But they were not surprised. Why? Because this is common among the devotees of Lord Krishna. Yudhishthira Maharaj is Krishna's devotee. So things made of gold, this is not a surprising thing to them, because this is common amongst the Lord's devotees. This is common. And Yudhishthira Maharaj, it was not that he was very, very proud that all this opulence is there, but another one says he was proud because being a Krishna devotee, that is his pride. It was mentioned one time, Yudhishthira Maharaj, he asked Lord Krishna for some benedictions. So Yudhishthira Maharaj asked Krishna that, my dear Lord, my dear Krishna, I need some benediction from you. So the Lord said, whatever you want, ask me, you are my devotee, what do you want? So Yudhishthira Maharaj said, I want to be the emperor of a very vast empire that is full of riches, full of so much opulence that is completely unrivaled in this planet. Unrivaled. I want to be the emperor of such. So Krishna said, okay, tatastu, I give you. And then he said, I want to have the most beautiful woman as my wife, the most beautiful woman as my queen. So Lord Krishna said, I granted you. So Yudhishthira Maharaj was asking for these benedictions. And then after that, Lord Krishna asked him, Yudhishthira, you're my devotee. And usually my devotee do not desire anything. They don't want anything of this material world. So why are you asking me for all these things when my devotee don't want anything? Just like Kunti was praying, that is a term, King Chana Gochara, my dear Lord, you are worshipped by those who have no interest in this material world. So Krishna asked Yudhishthira Maharaj, why are you asking me for these benedictions? Then Yudhishthira Maharaj replied, he said, my dear Lord, my dear Krishna, I'm asking for this benediction. It's not for myself. I don't desire anything. I don't desire anything. But your devotees, they are famous for being penniless. Because Krishna's name is Hare. Hare means someone who takes away. Hare means to steal, take away. Normally, when one becomes a devotee of Krishna, everything is gone. You are deprived of anything material. You have become like a destitute. So I said, my dear Lord, you are famous for that. Your devotees do not have anything. They always running, crying, begging. So therefore, people do not want to be your devotee. Because of they don't want to become devotees. But I'm asking for this opulence, for all these benedictions. Because when people talk about me, they say, oh, Yudhishthira Maharaj, such a great emperor, and his emperor, his empire is full of vast opulence. And at the same time, he has his most loyal brothers. His brothers are the most loyal to him. His wife, the most beautiful woman, Draupadi, the most beautiful woman in the creation. And Yudhishthira Maharaj is a devotee of Krishna. So, being a devotee of Krishna, if a devotee of Krishna can have all this much, so if Yudhishthira Maharaj can be a devotee of Krishna, why can also not be a devotee of Krishna? So therefore, by people seeing me, they'll be inspired to become your devotee. So therefore, devotee will have different strategy for preaching Krishna consciousness. Devotees will have different strategies for bringing people to Krishna consciousness. So Yudhishthira Maharaj said that by this, when people see me, they'll be encouraged to become your devotee. They will not run away when they hear your names. You see? So this is the thing. So very vast opulence that was manifested during this sacrifice by the great sages, the great rishis, demigods. They were not surprised because they said, oh, Yudhishthira Maharaj is a devotee of Krishna. So this kind of opulence is uncommon among Krishna's devotees. Okay? Which means, according to Krishna's will, some devotees, he may have them have a lot of opulence, and some devotees, he may deprive them of everything. That is according to his will. Now, it doesn't mean that one devotee is greater than the other devotees. No. This is according to Krishna's own pleasure. just like Sudama Vipra, he was very, very poor. He and his wife, he was so poor that they hardly even have one clothes to cover themselves. You know. But the wife telling him that, look, my dear husband, you are Krishna's devotee. Why don't you go to him? Krishna's in Dwarka, go to him and ask him for something. And then, so because of constant arguing of his wife, so Sudama, he went to Dwarka to meet Krishna. But when he went to Dwarka, his desire was not to ask Krishna for anything. He just said, this is an opportunity for me to see Krishna. So he went to Dwarka, and then when he entered Dwarka, he was so much absorbed in Krishna. If Krishna saw him, Krishna brought him, put him on his own throne, and Krishna was, washing the feet of Sudama. And then Krishna noticed that Sudama had some cheap rice, which is become very rotten, cheap rice. And Krishna said, "Oh, my dear friend, you have brought something for me." And he, of course, Sudama was very reluctant. No, he said, "I didn't bring anything for you. What can I give you? What can I give you?" And then so somehow Krishna forcibly took away the cheap rice, and he was eating it. When he took one morsel, second morsel, and then Rukmini said, "Oh, my dear Krishna, my dear Lord, you are giving so much. That's enough. You're giving so much." Because whatever, if you eat by eating, you are giving so much. Because if you keep eating, then you're going to give him the whole kingdom, the whole Vaikuntha. But Sudama, he had no interest whatsoever to ask Krishna for anything. No interest to ask Krishna for anything. Don't even forgot the reason why he had come to Dwarka. And then he left, going back to his home. And of course, when he went to go back to his home, he found out that everything has transformed into gold, and his palace, his horse, everything become transformed. But he had no desire for any personal sense gratification, any personal gratification. You see? So this is the situation for devotees. Devotees don't have any particular desires, but by the Lord's own will, they can have anything, by the Lord's own will. So text 16. Ayajaya Maharajan Yajaka Deva Vachasaha Rajasuyana Videvat Pacheta San Iva Marha. The priest, as powerful as gods, performed the Rajasuya sacrifice for King Yudhishthira in accordance with the Vedic injunctions, just as the demigods had previously performed it for Varuna. And then text 17. Sute Hanyabani Palo Yajakan Sadasaspatim Apujaya Mahabhagan Yatabasu Samahitaha. On the day of extracting the soma juice, King Yudhishthira performed and very attentively worshipped the priests and the most exalted personalities of the assembly. So there's a purport here. So Srila Prabhupada writes in Krishna book, according to the Vedic system, whenever there is an arrangement for sacrifice, the members participating in the sacrifice are offered the juice of the soma plant. The juice of the soma plant is a kind of life-giving beverage. On the day of extracting the soma juice, King Yudhishthira very respectfully received the special priest who had been engaged to detect any mistake in the formalities of sacrificial procedures. The idea is that the Vedic mantras must be enunciated perfectly and chanted with the proper accent. Just like I have some accent. So any of the Vedic mantra must be done with proper accent. If the priests who are engaged in this business commit any mistake, the checker or referee priest immediately corrects the procedure, and thus the ritualistic performances are perfectly executed. Unless it is perfectly executed, a sacrifice cannot yield the desired result. In this age of Kali, there is no such learned Brahmanan or priest available. Therefore, all such sacrifices are forbidden. The only sacrifice recommended in the Shastras is the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. Because the Vedic sacrifice is such that all the mantras must be chanted properly according to. That's why the Vedic education is such a vast education. It takes so many years, minimum 12 years, by which a child had to spend in the house of the Guru, Gurukul. And all the mantras have to be learned and how to chant them properly, especially when they sacrifice. Because if there is a mistake, if the mantras are not properly chanted, then it cannot give the desired result. Just like when the thruster, he was performing a sacrifice by which he could bring an enemy to defeat the demigods, Indra. But he was chanting the mantra, but somehow there was a mistake in the chanting. Instead of him invoking the person who will kill Indra, it was a reverse by which someone who's the enemy of Indra, Vitrasura, came instead. Even though Vitrasura was a big demon, big, but he was killed by Indra. So sometimes the Vedic mantras, they're not, if they are not chanted properly with the proper accent, they can give the mixed result. So therefore, but in this Kali Yuga, there is no qualification. Qualification is not there in this Kali Yuga. The proper chanting of the mantras cannot be properly done. It's not done. And that's why all these Vedic sacrifices, they are forbidden in Kali Yuga. They are forbidden in this Kali Yuga. And there's only one mantra which is recommended in Kali Yuga, and that is Hare Krishna mantra. Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Because as they say, what is it? There's this famous verse that Prabhu always quoted, that this mantra is such that it doesn't matter how one chant it. It doesn't matter. The result will always be positive. It doesn't matter how one chant Hare Krishna mantra. It does not require any training. It doesn't require any training. It doesn't require any practice. Just open your mouth and chant it. And then the result is there. And what is the result? Develop love for Krishna. That's the result. So therefore, in this age of Kali, there is no other process of religion recommended. The only process of religion is Hare Krishna mantra, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Namaiva Kevalam, Kalo Nastiva, Nastiva Gatyanyata. There's no other process for spiritual practice, for civilization, except the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. So therefore, we are very, very grateful that great personality, like Prabhupada, he has brought this Hare Krishna mantra to us, especially we who are coming from the Western world. Therefore, we are giving this greatest gift of the Lord. And the Lord himself came in the Kali Yuga as Chaitanya Prabhu to give this wonderful process. Thank you very much. I'm going to stop here. I think our time is gone. So thank you for listening. Jai Grantrashma Bhagavatam ki. Srila Prabhupada ki. Gopi Manande.